start the show, man.
Thanks, no? Kadungos, maaala ka sulang na sa ta. Hindi ko ano. Ano sa sulang? Hindi nga lang. Sus!
Scopping liquid subway to oblivion. But I was too busy to notice. I was eyeing up this chick. And man, I wanna say when I saw what I saw, I knew I had to be quick to make my play. Cause that chick was all of a nigga rushing to get her pay. So I rode with the train and I said to her, have you ever thought of this? Only two things in life. She was a baby, but she don't look at me because she's on microscopic with subway to oblivion. 3 spoons of brown sugar, half of LSD, one awfully long player, that is all you need. My eldest brother did it, and he's only 23. Now my eldest brother is 5 years younger than me, and it's all happening here, and it's all happening here. It really is so strange, but the station never changed when you're on microscopic liquid subway to oblivion. I went for a walk down subway tunnel early one Friday day. Stopped to let the train pass by. I saw people rushing the other way. So I hooked I let the train take me their way. Hey, mister, I said to the guard man, what's all the rush about? He said, man, you must be crazy. It's payday. I heard him shout. And it's all happening here. You travel with your camel to the eye of a needle when you're on microscopic liquid subway to oblivion. And it's all happening here. And it's all happening, my dear. They said she was a baby, but she don't look at me because she's on microscopic liquid subway to oblivion. 3 spoons of brown sugar, half of LSD, one awfully long player, that is all you need. My eldest brother did it, and he's only 23.
In these dark times of dirty nightmares, you must ask yourself, have I got soul? Have I got soap? Well now, you can get both with Psyche Soap. In this one place, there is a live show where we have fun, where we can let loose and speak the red pill and black pill truth. Where are we? Why, we're in the bucket with Psyche Soap. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. In the bucket with Soul Soap and Psyche Soap. Same guy. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Hey, take off your mute button, man. You start to. Hey! It is on myself. Do 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 Psyche Soap. Do 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 Psyche Soap. Yes, yes, it is I. We are in the bucket where we have fun, let loose, speak red pill, black pill, troops. So might depend on poor friend that problems I don't give up because can't stupid. Woo! And at the 2-hour mark, we will give you things that make you go. Damn! Bye, Psyche Soap. Brothers, hello. How you doing? Speaking of things that make you go. Damn! We're getting close to the 100th episode extravaganza. Yeah. Now, I want to make it my final episode and turn it into a special occasion show if need be. I can put out an opinion poll for that. I mean, I got a whole mess of those ruminations done, and I'd like to get those out to you, but let me stop channel announcing and shit. I'd rather make the change and then announce it later, right? All right. Now, at work report. Work report. Work report. I don't have the music to it, so I got to make it up. Work report. Work report. Yeah. Now, next time you need to bring more cowbell. Bring the funk. Yeah. Shut! Stupid peanut gallery. Yeah. That, in case you're wondering, that's the peanut gallery. They always boo me. And then I gotta shut them up like now. I hate them. They're stupid. More on you later. Now, I figured out who's my enemy at work. And that is the 7-headed gynocentric monster. Yes, the 7-headed monster. And these are the motherfuckers you or I or them or they or he, she, it deal with every day. It's a 7-headed monster hydra thing that tends to go like, yeah, that monster just, yeah. He walks up in there and you just looks at you with lipstick, septum piercing, and in a mustache going.
Now steady, big fellow.
Yeah, number one, of course, here's my arch enemy. Hey, show the arch enemy, mister. Yes, there we go. Arch enemy. Yeah. So, number one, it's usually Karens. 2, idiots. Just, oh my gosh, dude. We've had the fucking ATM card pad for the past, 30 years now? And motherfuckers still don't get it? Like, what the fuck? Okay. 3, welfare sponges. You gotta have the welfare sponges. They could come in there with the WIC, they can come in there with EBT. You know how that shit works. It used to be food stamps, actual fucking stamp things. Well, they really got it from the ration books, like from back in the 60s or even further in the 40s or whatever. But you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. Stupid, right? And then you got 4. If it ain't that shit, it's coworkers you got to worry about. They could be on whatever fucking power trips, knowing that the shit that they're talking about is like way above their fucking pay grade. It's stupid, man. And then 5, if it ain't those fuckers, it's the actual leaders. Those motherfuckers are just out of it too. They're all simpy and boomer and stupid. Stupid doo boomer. Yeah. And then you got 6, and that's the technology, man. I mean, if the day is going flawlessly well, everything's cool, you don't get all of the other ones I've named. You don't get all of the other problems that I've mentioned. But then, you know, later this week, you get a word the fuck? Yeah. And it's the technology. It messes up on you. And I hate that. And the day could be just perfect. Yeah, it's cool. But then in the very last fucking hour, it goes to shit. No, not ooh. Yep. And then 7, some of y'all might not like this, but hey, we're just going to say it anyway. You stupid boomers, man. Yeah, we've had this shit for 30 years. There's only been 2 major changes, if you could think about it. Only 2 major changes. The tap and pay, how long's that been? Like 10 years? The chip, right? That's only been around for 20 years. And you still don't fucking get it? What the Yeah, stupid, man. And if it ain't one thing, it's a fucking other, man. I mean, these ugly old, yeah, man. You starting to see the season change and the weather get all warm and the sky turning blue, the trees getting the green, the grass is going green. Some of y'all gotta mow that shit to please some HOA Karen bothering you and shit. It's fucking stupid. And these ugly assholes, they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to don the hooker shorts and the pants. And then, like in the past week, the town turned into Cellulite City in just a month. And, bitch, don't humor me with the pictures. That's just, oh, God. Yeah. Bitch, you don't, well, we do got Sims. Okay. There's always going to be that. That's an abundance, right? I know. But I know the difference between thick, fat, and morbidly obese. So, bitch, don't even try it, girl. Just, man, leave your ass at home, man. Shut! You know I'm right. You see that shit too. Peanut gallery. Here's another thing I've noticed. I know, yeah. Nowadays, fellas, it's bigotry to notice patterns and shit, right? So, I had a question, man. Like, why is it like pulling teeth to call a female arrogant when they are actually being arrogant? You know, chauvinist too. I mean, it's like, you put those 2 words together in a sentence, and it's like taking those 2 magnets and trying to put them together, but they just fucking repel somehow. That is what I'm talking. That shit. I mean, a bitch can be arrogant, right? I mean, really, dude. They could be fucking arrogant. Call them on it. And see what happens. It'll be like those 2 magnets you're trying to put together, but they keep just and they just don't attract, right? It just doesn't come through for some reason. They somehow made that a fucking thing. I mean, since girl boss energy is the norm, why not, right? Why not call them for what the fuck they really are? Just arrogant people, you know? And I got other shit to do, but before I get on to the damn show and these articles, man, I'm gonna start with some of them damn bucket ground rules. I gotta do the stupid doo bucket ground rules. Cause some people are new to the show, some people don't watch the show, some people are stupid doo pee pee. 1. Check to see if you're still subscribed. Right now. Scroll down. Are you still subscribed? If you are, great! Yay! 2. Tap the damn bell. I'm not one of these algorithm hoes that do a video every day. I do the bucket on Fridays, man. And, you know, I often do a recorded or live rumination during the week. And we'll start to getting up on those too. I've been promising them for what, the past 5 shows now? And there you go. But for real, man, if you're going to get up on here, you know what I'm saying, then, tap the bell. I don't spam you much. I don't have, content every damn day, but I'm at least get you something to begin the week with, like the bucket. Right? Damn! It right there too. That show, man, that's a problem. I do that. That's released on the new text, BitChute, Meta.tv, Odyssey, and that's, at the 2-hour mark of my show. Or, for those that are just tuning in late, that's like Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then there's 7 p.m. Central. Now, 3, like the damn video. If you take less than 10 seconds, unless you're driving, I get that. But if so, wait until your vehicle has came to a complete stop. Just do that. 4, I usually bring out the guest links in the show. Before you hop in, check your audio. Fuck. Bruh, have you ever gotten on the show, my man? Fellas, if you had gotten on here before, have you ever gotten on this show and then came back to watch the replay and listen to how your ass actually sound? That's where I'm going with it. And then do some tests after a while. But the closest that it is, here's the basic principle. The closest that it is to wired is the better that it'll sound. The closest it is to wireless, the worse that it'll sound. If it's wireless, that's, telephone quality. And if you're using a wired headset, that's pretty much studio quality. Think of it that way. If you're on wireless and stuff, and you find yourself hopping into the bucket, that's cool. But if you're on 5G or Wi-Fi, you had better be in a quiet room, or you've stopped your car and rolled up all your windows and shit. Don't nobody want to hear your damn background. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. 5, if I go audio cell, silent because I'm hitting that mute button really hard, let me know. Alright? I mean, I do have Discord. Okay? You can hit me up from there. I'll see what, I'll get off my shit. Because sometimes I go on a awesome ass rant and I'm, reading an article, watching a video, whatever, I'm reacting to it. And then for some reason, I turn back and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta unmute my shit, don't I? Don't I? So, if I audio cell, go silent because of my mute button, let me know. Great. Okay. 6. No fucking simping. This is MGTOW. Stop fucking simping, dude. Like, can't stand a fucking simp. Even if I'm cool with you. Even if you're my best friend. Can't stand simping. It's just terrible. Stupid. Makes you look weak. 7. Soap. Do what you want. Yeah. You shut. Soap. Do what you want. And anyone in violation of my ground rules, I shall summon K-Plan. And K-Plan will be the big zap you. And after he zap you, no one will be left alive. Yeah. K-Plan! 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 Zap them! Yes! They are no longer the peanut gallery. They are now the peanut butter gallery. Waka, waka, waka. Oh, shit. All right. So, really, guys, we need to stop underestimating China. Stop underestimating them. You know where the art of war comes from. Okay? What I'm showing you here looks like well, you could say it's going to be their Pentagon, but it's not. You know, okay. This administrative function is going to be China's motherfucking what do they call that? Pentagon. Yeah, we got the Pentagon. What you call it? Got the Kremlin. They got that. And they got this. I forgot what MI5 is, or what building they call that shit over at England or whatever. But here, this is China's Pentagon, dude. You don't fuck around with that, man. And, they don't give a shit. They're okay with letting you see this shit. They're constructing it, and no, with as many people as this motherfucker got, people will be crowding these places. Yes, we do know that there is this, what do they call that? The social credit score thing. That may be their downfall if they're not careful, but don't underestimate China. So there's this 1,000-acre. That looks like they're building a fucking football stadium pretty soon, I guess. I don't know, man. What's this? The Beijing Tigers Stadium? I don't know. But anyway. And so this article goes, as satellite images reveals China's ambitious construction of the world's largest underground military command center near Beijing, global tensions escalate, and we are currently in a trade war with them, prompting experts to scrutinize the implications of this unprecedented development for national security dynamics. And they go on to say, in the fast-paced world of global geopolitics, the unveiling of China's monumental military project has captured worldwide attention, that is. Satellite imagery has recently exposed the construction of a massive underground military command center near Beijing, signaling China's strategic ambitions and its determination to compete with the United States on the global stage. And they can. So stop fronting like we can't, right? So stop fronting like we can, go over there and just outdo China on shit. Don't let the knockoffs in the Temu that just got plucked off the air fool you. It's still around, bro. And so the article goes and say this revelation has sparked intriguing concern among experts and observers who are closely monitoring the developments. As tensions rise in Asia, understanding the implications of this project is crucial for both regional and international security dynamics. And regional, I know what that means because this thing in Pakistan and India is about to pop off, and I'll tell you about that here later on in the show. Now, this says China's latest undertaking is a testament to its grand military vision, reminiscent of Cold War era military strategies. Since the 1980s, China has been developing specialized teams focused on constructing underground shelters designed to withstand the most formidable bombs, bunker busters, for instance. Now, this approach has its roots in the Cold War, a period marked by an arms race where nations like the Soviet Union and Germany invested heavily in bunkers and subterranean bases. Oh, also keep in mind, the land area of China is next to the roof of the world. You know, Mount Everest in the Himalayas. Bruh, think about that shit. Don't underestimate those guys. All right, where was I? The scale of this project is immense, reflecting China's desire to secure its military assets against potential threats. With geopolitical tensions on the rise, particularly in Asia, this development underscores China's commitment to bolstering its defense infrastructure. It also highlights the evolving nature of military strategies in the 21st century, where technological advancements and strategic positioning play a critical role in national security. Implications for global security. The construction of China's underground military complex has far reaching implications for global security. As China continues to expand its military capabilities, neighboring countries and global powers are reassessing their security strategies. This development is not just about military might, it represents a shift in the balance of power in Asia and beyond. And I know what that means. Guys, take a look around. And look, if you got a calendar next to you, look at that. You are in the last days in which we the United States of America will be losing its global hegemony pretty soon, and we've had it ever since '91 as the sole superpower, of course. But anyway, back to this article or whatever the shit. Moreover, China's actions are likely to trigger reactions from other major powers, potentially leading to an arms race reminiscent of the Cold War. The United States, in particular, may feel compelled to enhance its military presence in the region to counterbalance China's growing influence. This scenario raises critical questions about the future of international relations and the potential for conflict or cooperation in addressing shared security challenge. So, in other words, we can't just be getting away with some, what do you call that shit? Being the world's police anymore. We're probably going to lose that role. We're dealing with a country that has like, it's the most populated country in the world. If it's strength in numbers, they got that. The largest manufacturer, they got that. Buying up all the gold, buying up all our land, not just theirs, not just Canada's, but our land and shit. You can tell, man. And they already got sleeper agents in this motherfucker. And we've had them here at least since the 19th century. Generations and generations of which. But let me keep going. Regional reactions and future prospects. All right. Now, the revelation of China's underground military complex has elicited varied reactions across the region. Neighboring countries are closely monitoring the situation, with some expressing concern over the potential implications for regional stability. Others are considering strategic partnerships and alliances like BRICS and I added that part in there, like BRICS, to counterbalance China's. Oh, wait a minute. Others are considering strategic partnerships and alliance to counterbalance China's growing military presence. Theirs is BRICS, but ours is that G7, UN, NATO shit. I don't get it, but it's stupid as fuck. But I'll keep it moving. Looking ahead, it says, the future prospects of this project will depend on China's ability to manage its regional relationships and address the concerns of the international community. Now, the success of this undertaking could redefine China's role on the global stage, potentially paving the way for new alliances and diplomatic engagements. However, it also raises important questions about the potential for conflict and cooperation in a world increasingly defined by military prowess and strategic competition. As China's military ambitions continue to unfold, the world watches with bated breath, and we're still in that right now. The construction of this underground command center is a clear indicator of China's determination to assert its influence and secure its interests. In this era of rapid geopolitical changes, how will other nations respond to China's growing military might? By being pig-headed and stubborn and thinking that we're, you know, America 4 years ago. We're not that anymore, dude. You might want to get your head out of the clouds and out of somewhere else too and start looking around and see what's going on here. Now, while we may be the number one drug consumers in the whole world, these guys are like they're the number one manufacturers in this world. I mean, they're even leading in electric, you know, and they're also leading in pollution. So it's like, touchdowns and interceptions are both at 100. So what, right? But they're gonna do what they do, you know. Again, I put all that up there just to put up this. Don't underestimate China. Don't do that shit. Do so. If you're gonna do it at your own damn peril. Now, I'm not allied with them, you know, and take a look around. I'd like to say a good at least 75% of everything in your house has been has been put together, assembled in, or flat out made in China. Now, I got another thing I would like to show here, and this is a little off gear, but I'll go ahead and do that. Let me see here. It's kind of off topic, but no, 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 no. It's still on the topic. It's still geopolitics and world relations. And I'll show you what this is in just a moment because this talks more about the Kashmir region. And that one's important as well. You might want to watch that shit too. Yeah. All right, so I'll put that on up here. Hop up in my comments, see what's going on. All right, let's see right here. Comments. Yeah. There we go. Hi, everyone. Wow, China builds quickly too. The rate they can build things is impressive. But if you had watched, pause. But if you had watched the beginning intro of the show, it showed a truck driver, pretty much overweight and trying to go over a newly built bridge, and then the bridge just collapsed. Now, yeah, China could probably pull a Timu on you, but if it really wanted to, it could also go advanced engineering on your ass as well. Yes. I mean, now, yeah, we're still, allies with people like, with countries like Japan and so is Indochina, Southeast Asia, where Thailand and all of that is. But then again, dude, you know, how long is that gonna last? How is that gonna go on? I don't know. But right here, right now, we're looking at this deal here and that was in I did show that, I think, in my last things that make you go, damn! Most like you so. And this is centering more on those attacks and explosions going on in Kashmir. Now, that situation has been happening for 70 years now. And yeah, for real. Back in the time of um, Jinnah and who's that? Gandhi, when they were back and forth about the status of this region because it's set up weirdly. It has people on one side there, what is now Pakistan, and then on the other side, it used to be called East Pakistan, but now it's Bangladesh. But in between there's a whole 1,000 miles, and what's in that 1,000 miles is you got Nepal, you got Kashmir to the west, of course, and that region has been in probably in dispute longer than even 70 years. And here it is here. And this is what it's saying. Blasts rang out across the city of Jammu in Indian Kashmir late on Thursday during what India's military said was a Pakistani drone and missile attack across the disputed region on the second day of clashes between the nuclear armed neighbors. Sirens sounded like so, and red flashes and projectiles could be seen in the night sky above the city, which was plunged into a blackout. A Reuters journalist said. There was no immediate comment from Pakistan on what appeared to be an escalation in the country's worst confrontation in more than 2 decades. Our army installations are under attack. It is happening in 5 districts of Jammu, and that's the region. A security official had told the paper. Now, 8 missiles fired from Pakistan at the Jammu region towns of Satwari, Samba, Ranbir Singhpura, and Arnia were intercepted by air defense units. Added in an Indian military source who asked not to be named. They were just part of a wider attack, the source added. Now, wow, what the fuck? Pakistan's defense minister, Khawaja Mohammad Asif, had earlier said further retaliation was increasingly certain after both countries accused each other of launching drone attacks. And they have been launching drone attacks ever since those countries were able to make or have drones, for real. Oh, here's the history part. World powers from the US to Russia and China have called for calm in one of the world's most dangerous and most populated nuclear flashpoint regions. Excuse me. The U.S. Consulate General in Pakistan's Lahore ordered staff to shelter in place. Remember what shelter in place did last time? U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called for de-escalation in separate calls with Indian Foreign Minister Sabraham. I'm not even going to try. The Foreign Minister and the Pakistani Prime Minister on Thursday. He's speaking with them. You know, that's Marco Rubio doing his Marco Rubio Republican cutout thing and trying to get some foreign policy chops built there, I guess. You know what? I have a strong feeling that he is going to be our modern day Richard Nixon. But that's just me, I guess. Let me keep reading. The relationship between India and Pakistan has been fraught with tension since they gained independence from colonial Britain in 1947. And as a matter of fact, this problem has been starting since the end of World War II. And they've been back and forth. Those countries have already fought 3 wars. 2 of them were over Kashmir and clashed other times, many times, lots of skirmishes and stuff like that. The countries that both claim Kashmir in full and rule over parts of it separately acquired nuclear weapons in the 1990s. So they both have nukes. Oh, shit. And one or both of them, I think, have hypersonics too, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just speculating. Drones, missiles, and air defenses. In the latest confrontations, India said it hit 9 terrorist infrastructure sites in Pakistan this past Wednesday in retaliation for what it says was a deadly Islamabad-backed attack in Indian Kashmir on April 22nd. Now, Pakistan says it was not involved and denied that any of the sites hit by India were militant bases. It said it shot down 5 Indian aircraft on Wednesday, a report on that the Indian embassy in Beijing dismissed as misinformation. Right now, Pakistan's military said earlier on Thursday it shot down 29 drones from Canada. No, not Canada, India. Close, but no cigar. At multiple locations, including the 2 largest cities of Karachi and Lahore, and the garrison city of Rawalpindi, home to the Army's headquarters. The Indian Defense Ministry said Pakistan attempted to engage a number of military targets in northern and western India from Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and they were neutralized by Indian air defense systems. In response, Indian forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan on Thursday, the ministry said. The Indian rupee earlier dropped 1% to 85.71. The Nifty 50 benchmark share index declined about 0.6%, while the yield on India's benchmark 10-year bond rose 6 basis points. Trading was halted on Pakistan's benchmark share index on Thursday after the index slumped 6.3 on news of the earlier Indian drone attacks and closed down 5.9%. Pakistan's international bonds extended their losses with the 2036 bond down 2.4 cents to bid at 72.4 cents. So now it's affecting the markets, of course. And yeah, quite hopefully, Pakistan itself as a country doesn't go through a what would be called a depression over there. Shit, it looks like a depression even if the economy's good, right? Local media reported panic buying in some cities in the Indian state of Punjab, which shares a border with Pakistan, as people hoarded essentials like dung and manure and other shit. I'm just fucking with you, man. So yeah, the war is on in that motherfucker, man. You got to be careful up in that shit, You step away from the big bass thumper bumper. It's much too big for you. And then there's more shit, about India and all of this here. And it says here that India launches military strikes against Pakistan. So here's some more retaliation going on with that. And it says here that India said it conducted military strikes on 9 states in Pakistan in retaliation for a deadly militant attack on tourists in Kashmir. And I seen that one because, and you could also see it too on one of the episodes of the things that make you go, damn! My psyche soap. So yeah, sometimes I do play you some real shit that be going on. Radical Raptor says, "Oh no, Chaos says he's living the American nightmare," and then Raptor says the nightmare isn't too bad for the time being. We still have internet and food, and you are correct. Right now, right away, we still have internet and food, but pretty soon we have food, water, medicine, means of self defense, and a K plan. Hey, where's K plan? Yeah. Where is the K plan? Zap him, K plan. Never mind. Back into this shit. That wasn't funny. India said it conducted military strikes on 9 sites in Pakistan in retaliation for a deadly militant attack on tourists in Kashmir, intensifying a confrontation between the nuclear armed neighbors. Pakistan's army spokesman, Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, said 26 people were killed and 46 were injured. Wow, okay. Now, Pakistan's defense minister told a local news channel that Pakistan shot down 5 Indian aircraft. The Indian Foreign Ministry didn't respond to a request for comment. Now, the Indian Defense Ministry said its forces they had carried out strikes on camps that terrorists, not tourists, but it looked like tourists when I had seen it. But anyway, camps terrorists have used to stage attacks against India, according to a statement released on this past Wednesday. Now, we're living up to the commitment that those responsible for this attack will be held accountable, said India's defense minister. Now, justice is served. India's army had said on X/Twitter. And dude, this shit, oh man, look, there's twisted metal right here. Kind of looks like one of those those shit tanks like on Joe Dirt and all that shit. Yeah, so that's what it is, man. That's the geopolitical situation. And then what other shit's been happening this past week? Oh, yeah. Do Catholic priests make good babysitters? I don't know. Shut! You know that's funny. Yeah. They got a new pope. So it says, according to this, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was born in Chicago, came out of Chicago, I believe, and the Chicago diocese. And now he is the current pope. He has been selected as the pope. He's a fierce opponent of same sex marriage and gender studies in classrooms. Yet, past Trump and Vance critic, he has been selected as the new pope, ending a 2-day enclave in Rome. The voting cardinals have made their way out to the balconies of St. Peter's Basilica, waiting for the new pope, as chants of Leon, Leon, Leon could be heard from the crowd. Let's check this shit out. All right, let's see if it'll help us here. And I'll move it on over there. Hopefully we can see it. Yeah. Better play or I'll kill him. No, I'm just kidding. So there this is. You got the Pope over here. The creepy mother. Hey, you shut! I'm starting to see rain clouds, man. I don't want to get struck by no freaking lightning. Yeah. So yeah, he steps out. Everybody cheering and crying, looking like it's a One Direction concert out in the crowd and shit. See this shit? Yeah, see this shit? Yeah. Oh, silly ass shit there, right? So let me get on up out of there and get on into this story real quick. So Prevost kind of looks like prevert, whatever. I don't know, man, but hey, let me stop. But Leon the 14th has previously expressed disappointment that some Western media held sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel, in particular the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of same sex partners and their adopted children, right? Now, according to the Times, oh man, I gotta read a quote from the great Satan, the New York Times. Yeah. Well, Cardinal Prevost, appointed by Francis in 2023 to run the Vatican office that selects and manages bishops globally, has spent much must have let me do this again. Cardinal Prevost, appointed by Francis in 2023 to run the Vatican office that selects and manages bishops globally, has spent much of his life outside the United States. Ordained in 1982 at age 27. Wow, okay. He received a doctorate in canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome. In Peru, he was a missionary, parish priest, teacher, and bishop. As the Augustinians leader, he visited orders around the world and speaks Spanish and Italian. Now, the cardinal understands that the center of the Roman Catholic Church is not in the United States or the North Atlantic, said Raul Zagara, assistant professor of Catholic theological studies at the Harvard Divinity School. You better chill your woke ass out, bro. You better chill out on that shit. And if you really look at it, since John Paul, when have we even gave half of a damn about what the pontiff says over in Rome? I mean, yeah, the last time it had, you know, power like that was back in the days of Gladio and those recent scandals that have been going on for the past 20 years. You know what the fuck they are. Now, Prevost also opposed a government plan in Peru to add gender studies instruction in classrooms, telling local media the promotion of gender ideology is confusing, but it seeks to create genders that don't exist. No shit, Sherlock. And then we got this, and then he writes a little screed or a backhanded comment to JD Vance. We'll check that out here in just a moment. Let me get my comments back up. Okay, they are back. And then I'm going to go right on over here to what JD Vance was trying to say about it. Now, keep in mind, they're two wings of the same bird: Catholic, Protestant, it's all a uniparty Christianity party to me. It could be a four-sided die if you're adding in, what's their name? If you add in Judaism and, other Abrahamic faiths to that. But there's this thing with Pope Leo, and I'm going to read this, and JD Vance is talking about him, so let me see what's going on here. Pope Leo the 14th has taken to social media to criticize Vice President J.D. Vance's recent comments on prioritizing love and care within one's immediate circles. Now, Pope Leo the 14th, the recently elected leader of the Catholic Church, has publicly rebuked Vice President J.D. Vance's viewpoint on prioritizing love and care for one's immediate circles before extending it to others. Sounds about fair, right? Right? But then, Pope fires back with this: J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. Okay, well, the article goes on to say, Pope Leo's tweet was in response to what Vance had said in a January 29th interview, reports the Irish Times. There is a Christian concept that you love your family, then you love your neighbor, then you love your community, then you love your fellow citizens, and then after that, prioritize the rest of the world. The Irish Times reports that Pope Leo's tweet was in response to comments made by Vance, and is a while back here. Let me see what is going on with that. Okay, there we go. The statement led many devout Christians to rally behind him. And that's citing 1 Timothy 5:8, which underscores the importance of providing for one's own family. This is in the Bible, by the way. However, the Pope's tweet ignited a debate among some believers. What were people saying about Pope Leo's comments? And here they were. Here they go. And they went like this: Catholicism has gone woke, while another had suggested, y'all ready to convert to orthodoxy now. There you go. Damn, I almost relapsed there. But, so yeah, as we do see and know throughout Europe, of course in France you do see it, Spain you see it, here you see it, and even up in England you see it. Hell, you even see that in Mexico in some places. That, Catholicism has gone woke. You're seeing you know um lesbian priests, uh, transgender types, and then a lot of these pontiffs. Well, a lot of these working for the pontiffs, a lot of these cardinals are usually, having proclivities to the same sex, yet very young, and that's not cool either. And it's gone fucked up, and for a while we were going after that, for about 30 years ago up until the present day. So there you go. Now, others voiced their opinions with statements like new pope, same as the other pope, same as the old pope, and JD is never wrong, highlighting a split in views over the Pope's critique of Vance's interpretation of Christian values. While there were numerous critics, some voices rose in support of the new Pope's comments. One individual commented, "This is poetic justice for Trump mocking Catholicism with that ridiculous photo last week." Supporters and political figures alike have chimed in with reactions to the election of a new Pope, with one fan conveying high hopes. "You are going to make a great Pope. Love matters no matter where we are from." Now, what has Trump said about Pope Leo? Another commenter didn't hesitate to mix faith with politics, remarking, "The new Pope gets it. J.D. Vance is a disaster," they say, amid the surge of comments following President Donald Trump's congratulatory message on Leo XIV's appointment. "Congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was just named Pope," wrote Trump, proudly acknowledging the historic milestone of the first American Pope, by the way. He continued with fervent anticipation. What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo XIV. It will be a very meaningful moment. J.D. Vance also joined the chorus of well wishers. Congratulations to Leo XIV, the first American Pope, on his election. I'm sure millions of American Catholics and other Christians will pray for his successful work leading the church. May God bless him. Now, mind you, there is still a schism that has been going on between, the Orthodox Christians, the modern Christians of today, as well as the Roman Catholics. And a lot of what you're seeing with the so-called Christian left had all derived from the social gospel movement, you know. And from that time on forward, you've been seeing nothing but gay popes well, you could say there is gay cardinals and stuff like that. Also, lesbian priests, like I mentioned earlier. Now, I don't get it. Yes, you probably had grown up with this spirituality, but this spirituality, if it was practiced to the letter, if the gospel was practiced to the letter, you're not welcome in it. So why in the fuck are you doing it? And I think it's kind of like a smooth, low key way of rewriting the Bible. Kind of like how the feminists have taken over the Christian megachurch all over the world, and even smaller ones too as well. All right, so it's kind of strange on that. Now, there is also hit us with a little more politics, and then we'll get in some of that old fashioned milk folk, baby. I'm gonna do that too. I gotta do that shit. But now a bronze statue of President Trump was revealed Sunday afternoon at Rapid City's Elks Theater, drawing cheers from supporter and protests from critics. So down the street from me, they had just put up because they have statues all over the city signifying the all presidents, the 45th president, all 45 presidents, and they just put up his statue. Now, in South Dakota, it's definitely, 100%. Well, I can't say 100% Republican because you got to also exclude a lot of the college towns like Vermilion, which is where USD is, Brookings, which is where South Dakota State is, and then you got Rapid City, parts of Rapid City. In fact, Rapid City, being that it's near the Black Hills, kind of reminds me of a lot like Colorado, if you really look at it, because that's where the mountain range starts. So it kind of looks a lot like that, you know. And within that, there are a lot of left-leaning voters in that part. And as you guys already know, the rural mostly conservative, the urban mostly liberal, right? Much like that. Now, the statue itself, show that to you there. Wow, what detail. Okay, let me get back to it. Now, the statue was revealed shortly after it emerged Trump, who frequently covers his properties in gaudy jewels and gold, was planning to replace Air Force One with a garish jet from the Qatari government that has winding staircases, picture frames, an elevator, and giant bedrooms. You probably shouldn't do that, bro, but you know how Trump gets with his gaudiness and his in some ways he kind of he's kind of like the early rappers, you know what I'm saying, with the the goofy chains and shit like that. He gets down kind of like that for real. Now I'll continue reading on in this article, and it says around 100 people gathered for the statue unveiling ceremony in South Dakota, while another 100 assembled in nearby in Main Street Square to voice their opposition to the divisive 45th president. The statue, which was created by local artist Jim Marr and commissioned by donor Paul Bradsky, stood hidden beneath a bold red cloth until the big reveal. And he looks like that. Oh, wow. Well, I might check this out probably during the summertime when I head out there. Now, in about 3 months or less, there should be the Sturgis bike rally, but I'm not gonna be there. Now, I've been to Sturgis; it was pretty cool. I was kicking it, and I wouldn't mind going back again. But I was there, and it was during the time of it was back in the COVID days actually, and I was like, bro, I'd hate to have been here when that was going on because they were having an 80th anniversary. Now this year, I believe it's their 85th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken, over in Sturgis. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments or whatever. But Maher, who has designed 11 other president statues, took some time to consider whether he wanted to take on the Trump Commission. I knew it would be a controversial piece, he told the news channel. He continued, I had friends that told me it would ruin my career. I had other friends tell me it'd be the greatest thing I'd ever done. I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle of that. But yeah, it could be. But because the guy himself is polarizing. You either hate the guy or love the guy. And I don't know if there is any much in between on that. I don't know. Now, the sculpture captures Trump mid speech, leaning slightly forward at a podium, sporting his signature red tie, flashing his familiar hand gesture with thumb and middle finger pinched. The phone bearing the Twitter logo also rests on the podium, which is believed to be a nod to the social media platform which shaped much of his viral fame. Now, the artist, oh shit. I can actually see where they would be offended. Oh, fuck. Oh, they are gonna fucking freak over there when they see that. Well, that's cool. I don't care. Fuck it. You know the OK symbol, you know? Yeah, that's the white power signal. Yeah, I can see it all now too. Them looking all fucked up over it. Now, the artist admitted if he had been starting the project today after Trump's second term began, he might have approached the project differently. He added the first term was a lot more talk and tweets. Now things are really moving. Now, the Trump statue joins the ranks of more than 40 other presidential sculptures, which line the streets of downtown Rapid City as part of the City of Presidents, a privately funded, nonpartisan public art project. Mars previously sculpted Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and others. I wonder if he did floppy years yet. I'm not sure. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And shit, all I got to do is travel 3 hours, and I'm there, and I'll see what's going on over there. I guess maybe give you guys an update on that one of these days. But let me keep going on here. Bradsky, whose family funded the statue, called Trump a leader who made history and praised his America First agenda, mentioning Trump's historic return to the White House after losing re-election. Rapid City Mayor Jason Salomon addressing the crowd, acknowledging the protests nearby, saying, it's really the story of America. Whenever I hear him speak, regardless of what he's talking about, it's always big. Yeah, because, at best, it is going to be some awesome shit, but at worst, it's more of the same bloviation and fluff that Trump is good for doing. But we'll keep it going. Former Mayor Steve Allender also spoke, pointing to Trump's policy achievements like the U.S. MCA trade deal, the bipartisan First Step Act on criminal justice reform, and the Abraham Accords in the Middle East. All the other statues feel like history. This one still feels like current events, Alinder said. No doubt. True, because he's the one sitting right now. The Trump statue will first go on display at the Rapid City Visitor Center before moving to its permanent home at 6th and St. Joseph Streets this fall. I know this is South Dakota. It may survive. It might not even get vandalism. Real shit. It might not even get vandalized. And if it does get vandalized, it'll probably be that good kind where you put, nice little funny stuff on it. It won't be like my, my bucket show like a couple episodes back, like Still Standing, where that guy is going for the Guinness Book of World Records, where he's the human statue, and they got this, they got the phone on them. He's doing a live stream at the same time of it, and these people are, just painting on him, spraying mustard on him. And then there was this one chick that walked to him and kissed him, shit like that. All right. Now, the City of Presidents, founded by Don Perdue in 2000, marks the 25th anniversary this year. Okay. Each statue costs around 100,000 according to Visit Rapid City, which now manages the, let me get that in here. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. There we go. Which now, where am I at? Each statue costs around 100,000 according to Visit Rapid City, which now manages the project. It's not just an honor, they say. It's a responsibility we carry with pride, said Laurie Sutterer, the visitor service manager. With Trump's addition, the collection now features all past presidents through number 45. Now, President Brandon's statue is next in line, although the artist hasn't yet been revealed. So, pretty much in Rapid City, they are currently sculpting every last president that has ever existed, all 45 throughout the city of Rapid City. And that'll be cool. A little landmark in the making. Pretty cool. I mean, and right up the road, there's Mount Rushmore. Now, I got to see Rushmore, but I was only able to get to the gate because at the time they were doing construction on it. I believe this was 2019-ish, 2018. But yeah, I had been up there. It's pretty cool. Well, that was kind of nice. More Trump news. Trump. All right, so I'm gonna get on into that. What's this shit? The Supreme Court sides with Trump. He sides with Donald Trump. Now, there's a transgender ban in the military taking effect. Yes! Yes! All right. The U.S. Supreme Court allows Trump administration to enforce transgender military ban while legal challenges proceed. All right. All right. The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed President Trump's administration to enforce a ban on transgenders serving in the military while legal challenges proceed. The court's 3 liberal justices dissented, stating that they would have kept the policy on hold. The top court's decision has led to a debate, with many questioning the rationale behind the ban. Notably, after inauguration, Donald Trump has signed an executive order in January claiming that the sexual identity of transgender service members conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life, is detrimental to military readiness. The president's order directed the Department of Defense to issue guidance necessary for implementation within 30 days. All right. As per reports, thousands of transgenders serve in the military, representing less than 1% of active duty personnel. The ban effectively disqualified them from service, leading to concerns about the impact on military morale. The rules the Defense Department wanted to enforce contain no exceptions, and the policy during Trump's first term and one that has been blocked are considered materially indistinguishable. Meanwhile, the ban has marked a big setback for the LGBTQLMNOP QRSTUV community and equality in the military, as they put it over there and across the pond. All right. During his first term, Trump initially banned transgender troops, but President Biden scrapped the policy when he took office. Now, with Trump's return to power, the ban has been reinstated, and the Supreme Court has allowed it to take effect. Yes! Hey, you shut! You know we need to do that. We don't want no transgender weenies in the military getting all fake and gay. K-Plan! If you are here, zap him! Zap him, K-Plan. Yes, you must zap him. Yeah. Zap him! According to information, lawyers for Service members challenging the ban have been given a week to respond. Shannon Minner, legal director at the National Center for Lesbian Rights, expected a more specific order banning transgender military service, stating that Monday's executive order feels more like sort of symbolic statement. The legal battle is far from over, with many expecting further challenges and appeals. In the meantime, though, the ban raised questions about military readiness and effectiveness. The studies have shown that allowing transgender individuals to serve openly does not negatively impact military performance. In fact, it promotes diversity, inclusivity, and unit cohesion. Oh, are you fucking serious? Are y'all serious, man? Um, dude, I remember, when I was in, which wasn't that long ago. Don't mean to date myself. It hadn't been about 30 years pre 9/11, right? And back then, you know, gays were allowed in the military, believe it or not. It was a don't ask, don't tell. But you could tell who the motherfuckers were. Or who the uncle fuckers were. I don't know. Shit. But, when they served, they didn't give us too much of a problem. I remember I slapped one in basic training. That was funny. Let me keep it going. As per a group of experts, by excluding qualified service members based on their gender identity, the military may be compromising its own effectiveness. If you let them in, it's going to be a problem. The military is inherently man stuff. We do man things. The only thing outside of the man things are, sort of like medic, administration, finance, personnel, garrison support stuff. Outside of that, it's the grunts. This is a man thing. Why you want to put transgenders on the front lines with you? Now that will get you fucked up. If the motherfuckers can fight without them being all, that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them are gonna change, because it's really them living life on easy mode. Living life, you look anything like the fucking gynocentric industrial complex, you already know. You already fucking know that they're gonna, coddle them and baby them and all of that shit. Not too many are going for special forces gigs. And if they do, what ends up happening is that these simp trad cook motherfuckers start lowering standards for these faggots. Oh, I hate that. Trump administration met with resistance. Oh man. Oh, who thought this was not gonna happen, right? The Trump administration's efforts to ban transgender individuals from serving in the military have been met with resistance from the judiciary. Following President Trump's executive order in 2025, Defense Secretary Pete Simpson, because I want to call this motherfucker a simp. I thought you was cool, Pete. What the fuck, man? What the hell are you doing, man? Get after this shit, dude. Ugh. All right. He was tasked with revising the Pentagon's policy on transgender troops, effectively paving the way for a ban. However, 3 federal judges had previously ruled against such a ban, citing its discriminatory nature. Well, what do you think was going to happen, right? We're just going to welcome that shit with open arms. What would have happened if Obama was in? Don't you think they would have probably still gave his tepid middle of the road, floppy eared, tall ass a problem or two? Yeah, of course they would. But let me keep going on. One notable case involved 7 long serving transgender military members, including Emily Schilling, a combat pilot with nearly 20 years of service and 60 missions under her belt in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, this is a dude, right? Dressing up as a chick, serves 20 years, it served 20 years plus, went on 60 missions in the GWAT, And there you go. There's one notable case. But we're not here to talk fucking exceptions, dude. Let's talk about the rules. And the military is a total institution. Y'all stop trying to get in these total institutions thinking that you're going to get any acceptance. But if you really look at this Overton window, eventually, what we're in right now is a calm before the storm, a stay of execution before they really let these people in. Let me keep going, though. These individuals collectively hold over 70 medals for their 115 years of combined service. They argued that the ban would not only be insulting, but also cause lasting damage to their careers and reputations. Look, motherfucker, you choosing life on easy mode, or for some of y'all choosing life on hard mode, which is weird, you know, you may want to get that worked out. Sexual dimorphism is there for a reason. Yes, call me a biologist or whatever. I mean, shit, you're making Katy Perry a fucking astronaut. You know what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers fly planes every day. That doesn't make you aviator pilots, does it? Stupid shit, but that's something other else, Neither here nor there, but let me keep it going. Earlier, the U.S. District Court Judge Benjamin Settle, a Republican appointee of George W. Bush and former captain in the U.S. Army JAG Corps, ruled in favor of the transgender military members. Really? Now we know who the trad cucks were. He criticized the Trump administration for failing to provide a valid reason for the ban, especially considering transgender troops had served openly without issues over the past 4 years. Oh, really? So there's nothing, right? There was no issues. Are you sure about that? Are you fucking sure about that? And get this, these are Bush's picks, bro. Oh man. All right. So AB say diversity in the military. Just do the job. Who cares how you're oriented? Yeah, some people use that as you're there to get the Medal of Honor, not use your very mental illness as the fucking badge of honor. What the hell, man? Anywho's. Now, speaking of some late gay type shit, I got a few memes. I got a few things here. Some of that old MGTOW funk, some of that old crazy shit that happens in these child custody fights. This one came through to me in my Discord just a while ago, and I'll play that here for a minute. Some of you are familiar with it, some of you are not, but we're here to get us all familiar, so let's keep it going. All right. Let's see here. What is this shit? We could start with that. Or do we? No. You know what? Since we just came from that transgender shit, we'll power through this mess and we'll get up out of this they them shit. All right, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of the show. All right. Here's the A-listers mentioned in the Diddy trial so far. Now, there's no black book or whatever, like what's his name had, who has. This is all alleged. Now, so when I do mention these names, this isn't guilt by association. Leave it up to you and you alone to tell which ones are like really rocking with Diddy like that. Just baby oil and all. I'm a fucking robot puke, whatever. So, Sean Diddy Combs' criminal trial is underway in Manhattan, of course. Notable names have been brought up in court, including jury questions. Banfield is saying everybody's trying to connect the dots. Now, this story is going to contain discussions of, assault, rape. That may just be disturbing. Now reader discretion is advised, which we will. There's the assault hotline, the National Assault Hotline website, and that's 1-800-656 4673. All right. Now, the Diddy Combs federal crimes trial entered day three as potential jurors are being sorted out in the lower Manhattan court. The disgraced music mogul is accused of trafficking, abuse, and racketeering, and Combs is pleaded not guilty. Okay. Now, prior to his arrest, Combs lived a life of a multi-million-dollar luxury, surrounded by some of the most recognizable names in the entertainment industry, and you all know that. Now, while it may be challenging for Diddy's jury to remain impartial, because everybody know him, you know, he's been in, he's had his own fashion line, Sean John. He was at the head of Bad Boy. He was a heavy hitter in the liquor industry with Ciroc and De Leon. You do see those in the store still, unless they might have pulled them out. Yeah. He also hosted the most elite stars at his annual white parties in the Hamptons and Beverly Hills. You know, the infamous parties. You know what I'm talking about. Those type of parties that make you want to sound out that. Yeah. Now that shit. Now, these parties that may have been a setting for some of the alleged criminal activities. Considering Combs' former stature in Hollywood, it is no surprise that notable names are being brought up in court and included in the jury question list to see if potential jurors have connections or strong opinions about the mentioned celebs. Dude, you'd have to be under a rural fucking rock to not have heard of Sean Combs. Come on, dude. Yeah, I mean, everybody's heard of Diddy. You know? Diddy, really diddle the kids, or diddy the kids. Yeah, let me shut up. But anyway, those connections and Diddy's impact are not only fading away, they are under the spotlight like never before. In the last place you might expect jury selection, which is Ashley Banfield from News Nation had said. Everybody is trying to connect the dots between the shiny, famous names and the beleaguered rap star Diddy. Now, Sean Diddy Combs' misconduct allegations, lawsuits, timeline. Celebrities that have been mentioned in the Combs federal crimes case, but without clear context so far. Without clear context, y'all. So calm down. So if I mention one of your favorite guys, chill the fuck out. I'm just reading an article. Yay. Formerly Kanye West. I still call that motherfucker Kanye. Look at that. Look at that shit. Look at it. Now, those that are listening audio only, you don't know. But what I'm showing is a picture of Kanye over here hugging Diddy over here. It's pretty stupid. West released the song Lonely Roads Still Go to Sunshine that features Combs and his son King shortly after his arrest. Whoa. The song supposedly includes a taped phone conversation with Combs in prison. Oh, all right. Mike Myers. Myers' tie to Combs is unknown, if there is any at all. The former SNL cast member made a joke about the rapper in his film Austin Powers. I mean, shit, Jack Black made a joke about him in the film School of Rock. That's no different. And Mike Myers was the guy standing. Okay, now I'm playing 6 Degrees of fucking Separation. What the hell? Michelle Williams. Oh, that one. The Destiny's Child singer was mentioned on the first day of the trial without context. Okay. And there is hundreds of alleged predators arrested in nationwide operation. Lauren London, former partner of Nipsey Hussle, said Combs helped her get through the funeral of the rapper. I mean, this looks like all he did was fund the funeral. That's not bad. Christian King Combs and Justin Combs. Diddy's son Christian is accused of assault and battery of a sexual nature that allegedly occurred in 2022 on a yacht chartered by his father in a 2024 suit. He and his brother Justin were handcuffed during the raid on their father's mansion that led to his arrest in September 24. Dallas Austin. Yup. I remember Dallas Austin. Austin's a record producer who dated Combs' ex-girlfriend and mother of some of his children, Kim Porter, and she died age 47 in 2018. And for those who were in the know, Dallas Austin did a lot of productions for um, some of the earliest productions for Boys to Men and this group called Another Bad Creation. This group called and TLC. They were a part of that too. And this one group called Immature. But I'll keep going. Cassie Ventura, an ex-girlfriend of Combs, was also an artist for the music label. Ventura is set to testify in the trial. In March 2024, CNN obtained video footage from the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles from March 2016 that reportedly showed Combs chasing down and violently assaulting Ventura. We've all seen the tape, right? I mean, I don't have to remind you and show it again, right? Okay, I don't have to do that. All right, Kid Cudi. The rapper had a romantic interest in Combs' girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, and Combs allegedly threatened to blow up his car in February 2012. Cudi's car caught fire in his driveway, according to Ventura's lawsuit. Michael B. Jordan, the actor, once dated Ventura, and their relationship was referenced in their lawsuit. Wow, I didn't know that. Aubrey O'Day, a former member of Danity Kane. O'Day has been outspoken about Combs. Yeah, she's been out and about, talking all sorts of shit about the guy, calling him a soulless man and saying the working condition for the girl group were toxic. O'Day once said Combs' alleged mistreatment was enough to have changed course and direction of my entire life. I can kind of believe it, but on the other hand, I can kind of think that she is blowing it out of proportion. Or did she blow him? I don't know. Don Richard, another former member of Combs' pop group Danity Kane. Richard is suing him in a civil case for abuse, inhuman working conditions, and has said she witnessed him abuse Cassie. Wow. Lisa Bloom, who represents Richard, told Banfield these celebrities' names could be mentioned, but that they may not necessarily take the stand. So some of those people that I've mentioned might take the stand. Be on the lookout for that. Oh boy. Now, I will come back to that, but before I show you this, let me show you this one thing that I had picked up here on from my Discord. One of you has sent this to me, and this kind of fucked with this fucked with me, man. Oh man, that's sad. And this is a dad and his child, and hopefully I'm not yanked off the air. This is also from YouTube, guys, so calm down. All right, check it out. Let's go.
Look at that tire. Yeah, put 5,000 miles on it like that. Feel it. That's fucking. Oh, I can see it. That's like.
So I got your mom coming up. Take your son so you don't.
No, that's not happening. If you're gonna come here and tell me that,
you have to stay away over protection with him, dude. I don't want to get in a fight with you, especially with your son in your hands. All right?
It's not gonna happen.
Come on, all right, come on.
Let's go.
We're not coming. We're not coming. Hey, dude, stop. You're gonna do this to yourself. You're gonna do this to yourself. Hey. What the fuck? Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. All right, stop. Let me go. You want to do something, son? Get the fuck out of here. Stop. Not my mother. Stay away water. You have to stay away.
let me see this and how this shit is going down. That's pretty sad, yo. Um, I'll give my commentary on it later, but let me rewind that back. Let me see what's going on this. All right.
Protection with him, dude. I don't want to get in a fight with you, especially if you're throwing your hands, all right?
It's not gonna happen.
Come on, come. All right, come.
Let's go.
We're not coming. We're not coming. Hey, dude, stop. You're gonna do this to yourself. You're gonna do this to yourself. That's all. Hey! What the fuck? Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. All right, stop. Let me go. You want to do something, son? Get the fuck out of here. Stop. Stop.
Fuck, man.
34 shots fired. 34 for Harris Health.
Stop.
I'm not doing nothing.
Right there, your son. Your son.
Hold on, dude.
I called
Roy,
You're
Roy,
shot.
can you stand me up?
You're shot. I gotta help you.
I gotta help you. Okay, just let me stand up. No. I'll roll over and help him stand up. You back up.
Oh, buddy. What are you doing? You okay? Can you stay over here for me?
Let me stand up.
Can you sit here, okay?
Stop. Get down. I'm gonna handcuff you. They're gonna send you.
I think they did.
Okay.
340 patrol. Do we have a ambulance calling?
Don't want to hurt you, bud.
So, you okay?
100%, dude. Never quit you with anything.
All right, so stand it on, man. Stop, Corey.
So I don't know if you guys are seeing this immediately, but this is coming from one of the troopers there. Now there's 3 there, you know. The background of it, you know, is this fella here that they've shot and allegedly killed from the looks of this. And this came from back in March. And I was gonna do this on one of the shows, but I didn't have the video for it. But now I get to finally do it. And thanks to police activity for putting this out here. This is an issue that's near and dear to all of our hearts, and that's child custody, divorce, family courts, and all of that stuff that we do talk about here in our space. And the county sheriff's office, and this happened in New York State. They responded to a house following a 911 call for a welfare check and to serve the 32-year-old Miles Dignan, if that's pronounced right, Miles Dignan, with an order of protection to remove a 3-year-old child from his custody. Officers told Dignan a family member was coming to get the child. After that, he became uncooperative and tried to prevent them from taking the child. Now, the trooper Junla Sabari is where we're looking at it from, and she managed to remove the child from him, as you had seen earlier. Then a struggle happened during the encounter, and then the father grabbed the C-clamp and hit the female trooper in the head. Now, the clamp was 7 inches by 17 inches, weighed 18 pounds, and then Deputy Corey Whitney, who has been with the office for 11 years. He had fired a taser at him, but it wasn't effective. And then, Whitney then fired his gun twice, hitting him. Now, the child was removed from the scene and placed in the care of other family members, and Digman was transported to a local hospital.
No, stop, dude.
I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. You gotta see what the hell's going on.
Look at that tire. I put 5,000 miles on it like that. Feel it. That's fucking.
Oh, I can see it, man.
Well, I got your mom coming up. Take your son so you don't.
No, that's not happening. If you're gonna come here and tell me that, you guys can all.
You have to stay away over protection with him, dude.
Right.
I don't want to start getting a fight with you, especially with your son in your hands. All right.
It's not gonna happen.
Your mom's coming.
All right, come on. Let's go.
We're not coming. We're not coming. All right. Hey, dude, stop. You're gonna do this to yourself.
Miles, dude. Miles, stop, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. Fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Hey, dude, stop. You're gonna do this to yourself.
And that right there is when she takes the child from him, And right after she takes the child from him, he then hits the cop.
Miles, stop, dude.
I would say, yeah, the C-clamp could have been a deadly weapon. But come on now. The other that female officer was all right. She was able to get the child okay, if yes, in the heat of battle, in the line of duty, I know a lot of adrenaline runs high, and it dulls. It dulls your front brain activity, because at this time your back brain is going to work here. And when that happens, you start doing shit impulsive. Now, this doesn't apologize, and this doesn't excuse the activity that these cops are doing. But, you can see where they're coming from as far as pulling the taser out. That I get. But pulling the gun out, come on, that was unwarranted, in my opinion. Yeah, he pulled out a weapon, but then you had a weapon that could have just, put him down. But the problem is, man, is that you got to tussle with him. I mean, the guy kind of looks like about your height, about your size anyway. And you weren't going to let him go nowhere. And shit, you've been in this for about 10 years plus. You should be experienced with getting these people down the ground. And I get it. You don't want to fight the cop. You don't want to fight the guy with the kid in his hand, but come on, man. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? Give me your hands. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. All right, stop. Let me go. You want to do Corey, stop.
Now, I'm not saying that the guy shouldn't have complied, but I understand. There's the taser. Yeah, and so it was the pistol fire.
Can you just let me stand up? I'm not.
They got body cam. Stop.
I'm not doing nothing.
Right in front of your son. You can't do it.
My son. I know, dude.
I called
Boy, can you stand me up?
You're shot. I gotta help you.
No. Come on. Stop. Stop.
I'll go over here. I gotta help you.
Okay, let's let me stand up.
Nope.
I'll roll over and help me stand up. You back
No,
up.
I can't hit you in the head with freaking seat leg, dude. Sadly, you have to turn over.
Miles, roll over.
Hey, I gotta help you roll over.
Roll over.
Stop, lay down.
Dude, let me stand up.
Lay down.
Is it okay?
Lay down, dude. Lay down.
No,
Stop,
stop.
stop,
Come on, you know that.
stop, 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 stop. Stop. I'm gonna handcuff you. We're gonna send you.
That is so sad, man.
Call an ambulance.
I think they did.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, roll over. Stay good. Okay.
So it looks like from here the body cam was knocked off during the struggle.
Dude, you never collected with anything.
All right, stand it up, man. Stop, Corey. No, sorry.
Trying to be challenged like that, you gotta see what the hell.
Great observation there, Rafter. I mean, because look, you have to comply nowadays if you're not at risk of being shot. All right, they've militarized the police. A lot of these cops, a great deal of them, had already fought in the war. You know, and Timmy say, where is it written that you can destroy other people's stuff and not get an ass whooping? Yes, they are in his property, but you know, to be fair, those cops were serving papers on him. And those papers are something that, we brothers, we're against that bullshit. We don't like this. This is the type of shit that things like Title 4D and child custody laws and shit like that do to a man. And I could see where he was coming from. You know, having a child myself, having children myself and raising some kids myself, you know what I'm saying? I know where he's coming from. And that right there was insane. And to top it all off, when the ambulance finally did get the guy, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Now, and this is what pisses me off about both liberals and conservatives, because let's start with the wokies real quick. This Black Lives Matter shit, they hijacked something that should have been a really good a really good campaign against the over militarization of the police, of the overreach of the police, because they do tend to overreach no matter who you are. And what they should have started with is all lives matter. No wonder the right wing is quick to correct them with the all lives matter thing, because that's how it was supposed to be. The cops, law enforcement, don't like you equally. They don't give a fuck if you're black, white, poor, rich, or whatever, even though there is I'd like to say, a 3-tiered justice system. If I can posit that, there's the poor, there's the rich, and then there's the dreaded gynocentric industrial complex, you see. Yeah. All right. And then we got this shit here. And this is as a result of that dreaded gynocentric industrial complex. Now, I don't have much, I don't get it, and yeah, you are right, Timmy. I mean, some fellas don't like cops. I get it. And I mean, really don't like cops. And some of them get into the sovereign citizen way of thinking, and then they try to have their court in the street. Nah, man. That's what the courts are for. Wait until you get that day. Don't waste everyone else's time. I mean, because you're not just wasting the cops' time, your own time. You're also wasting other defendants' time that, have a right to a speedy trial, if you ask me. Because one time I was off into one of the cases I had caught years ago, and there was this sovereign citizen native that goes in there, and he tries to, loophole the fuck out of the judge, and I'm like, bro, can you just, hold it? until the last case. Can you, be kind and courteous to all the others that are here? But there you go. But yeah, man, it's another thing. Black Lives Matter could have been changed to All Lives Matter, yes, and the movement could have been based on going up against the over militarization of the cops and the overreach of the cops. You know, and that would have been a bipartisan effort. And I don't mean in the government bodies. I don't mean in Capitol Hill. I don't mean in your state legislature. I mean out here with the people themselves. Because we, the people, have a problem with these motherfuckers overreaching. You know, more often than not, they are pretty much the liaisons to this overreaching government, this big government here. And then no matter what state, city, or town you're in, this is how this goes. All right, Tim says, I don't walk around with body armor, taser, Glock, and a radio for backup. Well, true, true. A cop is nothing more than a trained dog for a politician, and so the fuck is a judge, as you could see with what's the name, or you could see that type of a thing with whatever, then, man. But this right here just really grinded my gears over the week, and I thought I'd share that with y'all. Here's the last part of it. And that was it. So yeah, man, the guy died, and other commenters have been saying that I've seen thousands of videos, but this is one of those videos that nearly has me in tears, and it's always the one that involves a child, most certainly. And then one had mentioned also, just let me stand up. But the dude was dead, and he didn't even know it. You know, he was pronounced dead by the time he gotten on that gurney and left on out of there. All right, let's get on out of that subject. And, this is the bucket. We're supposed to have fun and let loose, not go all sad and shit. Well, let me get you some of that old-fashioned Midtown funk, baby. But, this one involves, some of the usual mass media suspects. It kind of weirded me out that he ended up in this, but let's just go with it. Let's see what happens here. Black guest loses it after Pierce Morgan's dares a woman to say the N-word. Don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word. Let's try it. Let's see what's going on here.
They want unashamedly, and you will
Well, go
not
on then,
have
say
free,
it. Say
you
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free speech.
go on. Say the M word. Go on.
No.
Hang
Don't
on.
invite. No.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here, you and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and
oh shit. So, bro, that right there has got to stop too. Yeah. Mind you, this is some funny ass shit that he's going on about. But never mind. Let me play this part again. This is some stupid shit. Let me go with it though.
Unashamedly, and you will
well, go
not
on then,
have
say
free,
it. Say
you
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free
say
speech.
Go on. Say the M word. Go on.
No.
Hang
Don't
on.
invite. No. I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here, you and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Pierce. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
Oh. So, a little context here. Now, that guy that was, having his temper tantrum, that's your typical commie news network type guy snapping at Pierce Morgan over some dumb shit. You know, the lady, one of the chicks on the left was like, you know, I
what
want to
they
live in a
want
country.
unashamedly, and you will
Well, go on
not
then,
have
say
free-
it. Say
you
the
Yeah.
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free
say
speech.
go on. Say the M.
That's how it went, right? And then he gets all into his shit and he all gets upset about it. You know, kind of reminds me of this one time, dude, where I went to a bar here in town and someone had played the song, the Notorious B.I.G. song. The song's name's Juicy, right? Oh man, that is so fucked up because Diddy was involved in this song. Oh my god. But it's considered a hip hop classic, right? So when he gets to the part when you don't know that you know, nigga, and I'm like, and then the white guy saying it, we're all saying it, right? And then the only person that piped up getting pissed off was this Miley, right? Her on the left was getting pissed off about it. No. It was this Becky, right? Her on the left, and I'm looking at her like, don't police what the hell they saying. They can say whatever the fuck they want. That's how the song went. They ain't calling me one. Context matters, you idiot. And therefore I moved on. Now, let me show you some more some usual suspects type of things. You know what I mean? This is kind of like I don't usually do this, but I'll show us here some memes, right? And these are the hills that this came from the Freedom Park Press. They're really cool. If you can find them, check them out. And these are like, some of the most accurate fucking memes I've ever seen in my life. You know what? Back in those days, right? I mean, like, before they were even called memes, they were basically called political cartoons because this is in that style in which they did it, right? Now, you know, they flash up on YouTube, they flash up on TikTok, you'll see them on Rumble, you'll see them on X, you'll see them on Snapchat if you're doing that type of thing. You'll see them everywhere, right? But you know, this is showing pretty much the Democrat Party right now. This is them. They're being pushed to do all this shit, right? And you can tell this donkey that right there is Biden. And look at all these props over here, and they all got names like CNN, WAPO, MSDNC, New York Lies, ABC already been chewed, and CBS where you CBS, and they're just walking them through a hill full of skulls and bones and endless wars and violent crime and fentanyl deaths and mass vandalism and open borders policies and MS-13 and TDA and men and women's sports and censorship with lawfare to go with it. That describes them very well, does it not? And check this shit out. Now, it is so much worse than you think, as they put it. So let's check this out. Big up to the
Hey guys,
Liberal
welcome to
Hive
the
Mind.
Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, I guess it seems as though the Democrats have fallen in the trap once again. They've been baited again. I swear at this point, it's like watching a toddler walk into the same trap over and over again. It's absolutely insane how desperate these people are to feign outrage over anything that Donald Trump does. And honestly, I think the Trump team knows this, and they're playing these Democrats like a damn fiddle. It's the whole 80-20 play, right? Just bait the Dems into supporting the most insane stuff possible in their constant desperate attempts to make the next thing that Donald Trump does as his latest authoritarian fascist move. And well, once again, they've jumped headfirst into defending the absolutely indefensible. We're talking about them now sticking their own necks out to defend this Judge Duggan, or Judge Dugan, I don't know, whatever. after she aided and abetted a criminal, violent, illegal alien by
Yeah, I heard
misdirecting
about
ICE
that
agents
shit.
and helping him escape out of the back door.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what the Democrats will justify, what they will defend in their pathetic attempts to paint Donald Trump as the bad guy. Let's talk about all the details and everything that's happening in respect to this case at this point and what I think are the implications. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first lay it all out. Donald Trump's DOJ announced the arrest of Judge Hannah Duggan, and instantly, every Democrat, every blue checkmark, every single leftist talking head across the board is now jumping out to her defense. Trump is arresting judges now. This is authoritarianism. He's a dictator.
Yeah, you know who they arresting. You know what he's finally getting after. But it's only the leftist variety of this. That's all this is. That's all this is. You know, so there you go. You know, it's a problem here. And I'm like, wow. Let me play this up again. Let me check this out.
That's the narrative that they're running with. But, you know, I find it funny because none of them are actually going into the details of the case. They're just presenting it as judge arrested and expecting people to fall for this ridiculous play as if a judge can do no wrong, as if judges are above the law. But like always in these cases, once you actually hear the details, it's another complete faceplant moment for the Democrats and their narrative spinners in the media. Take a look at this.
And to set the stage for you and Sandra, this was truly horrific. This guy was in court being prosecuted by a state prosecutor for domestic violence battery. He had beat up two people, a guy and a girl, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. And John, you know, it's so rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get.
Why does she look like James Brown with white shoe polish on her face? I don't know. Anyway.
The guy, because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers. Takes.
Whoa. Wait the fuck a minute, AB. What you talking about, man? Wasn't a judge recently arrested for having a slap? Oh, man. For real? Motherfucker, this ain't 1925. What the fuck? Yeah, let's get back over here to Jane Brown. Good. She got the good guard, y'all face.
Him out a private exit and tells him to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
So we're now learning the details. ICE agents were waiting outside the courthouse, ready to arrest this guy who was standing trial in a domestic violence case. And then the judge overseeing the case gets alerted and then sneaks him out the side door to help evade ICE arrest. She snuck a violent criminal, illegal alien past the feds while his victims were sitting right there in the courtroom testifying against him. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? This isn't some civil rights martyr situation. This is a sitting judge helping a domestic abuser who is not a citizen of the United States, helping him illegally escape federal authorities. It's absolutely insane. Who in their right minds would ever support this? Nobody. I mean, nobody.
Man.
It's got to be an 80-20 issue. But of course, instead of condemning the illegal action of the judge, every single Democrat is now out here blindly defending her and not even addressing what she actually did.
No precedence for taking a judge in this manner. And I want to be really clear that what Judge Dugan apparently did was what all of us should be doing.
No, the fuck we shouldn't. Now I know who's been fucking us over this whole time. Simps like you motherfuckers right here. You simp motherfucker. Shut up! He shouldn't be simping! You stop fucking simping!
And that is standing up for folks in our communities who need support right now against the Trump regime more than ever.
And Bondi's assertion today and her arrest of Judge Dugan was a signal.
Somebody come get their grandma.
To the judiciary that you had better stay out of our way because this authoritarian regime is going to continue doing what it's doing.
This is really to show intimidation of judges across the entire country. And quite frankly, this sows doubt into our judicial system. That's something, quite frankly, that this Trump administration would like to do. They don't want people participating in our justice system, and they don't want people participating in our system in general when it comes down to voting.
What a pathetic...
Bro, he is not a citizen. He is not a resident, let alone a citizen. What the fuck, bro? So, let me guess. You take your ass to Mexico. Do you get to vote? I wonder if that is even the case, man.
Argument. But the most common argument that I'm seeing is that Trump shouldn't have arrested her because she's a judge, and that sends a bad message.
No, she's a female judge. How about that? No, don't arrest that judge. She's a female. She's a female.
Really? That's the entire defense? Not that she's innocent? Not that she didn't commit a crime? But that Trump shouldn't have enforced the law because of optics? Notice how none of these clowns are going into the actual details of what happened. And some of them are even saying, well, you know, even if she did break the law, regardless of what she actually did, Donald Trump shouldn't have arrested her anyways. First of all, not only is that a weak argument, but secondly, the massive industrial scale hypocrisy here is just hitting me in the face like a frickin' freight train. Speaking of optics, practicing discretion, this is coming from the same lunatics who spent the last 4 years cheering on every bogus indictment and the arrest of Donald Trump. They booked Donald Trump on bogus charges. Are we just going to forget that? They threw the book at him, fabricated charges, politicized prosecutions. They brought him in for processing and then released his mugshot. And now they want to cry about bad optics? Give me...
Yeah. All right? Get above that law, bitch. All right?
A frickin' break. You know, this is the bad optics, at least to me. Maison X hits us with the perfect edit.
He is being treated no better or worse than anyone else. This is not selective prosecution. That this is not somebody who's singled out. That he's being treated just like anyone else. That is what it means to have a rule of law. That is what the Justice Department is really signaling and messaging here, is that everyone will be treated, as Merrick Garland has said, as, you know, equally in this country. This is really a great day for America.
Oh, this is a great chance to see how the same piece of shit Wokey was acting when Trump was arrested. And then today. My, how this time fly. And boy, had the mighty fallen. Like, ooh.
Okay. So there has been a violation here that we know for sure. And it is not the judge.
Bad judge, what you gonna do? Beat you up until you take your babies from you. Nobody now looking down the air. Put it down, you can go away. Shut! You like my singing, you shut.
Exactly. You don't do it. Even if you thought that there was a ground for doing this, the judgment call that you thought that this is the case to bring, it tells you everything. There is no adult in the room who would have...
Exactly, and it's you fucks. Let's keep that all the way funky. And bad nose, what you gonna do? Get into the law and become a Jew. Nobody did.
Are you kidding me? Why would you possibly do this? And the answer is...
I am not suicidal. I do not want to self-delete.
It tells you everything. There is no adult in the room who would have said, are you kidding me? Why would you possibly do this? And the answer is because we want to send a signal to the judiciary. And that's what you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, let's not forget what they said back then. It's funny how it's all coming back to bite them in the behind, right? Oh, the optics, you got to practice discretion. You shouldn't be arresting judges, says the people who were cheering on. The Democrats weaponizing the justice system to indict and arrest their political opponent on bogus charges. Now, all of a sudden, arresting a law-breaking judge is a bridge too far? Give me a freaking break. It's
Right.
all coming back to bite him in the behind, especially the whole no one is above the law line.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law. No person is above the law.
No one.
And no woman is above the law. Scared to say that, ain't you? Huh? Right? Right? How about that broad when she falsely accused Emmett Till? Hypocrite motherfucker!
Is above the law.
No one is above the law. No one's above the law. No one is above the law.
And no one's below your backstabbing ass, low ass. Fuck you. Keep going.
No man is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
He has to be held accountable. He's not above the law.
Yeah, you're right. No one is above the law, especially not judges. I mean, the fact that Democrats are seriously arguing that a judge should just be allowed to help a violent illegal alien evade capture just because she's wearing a robe and because the optics are mean, well, it tells you all that you need to know. They're making the argument that this is Donald Trump abusing his power to intimidate judges, but we all know that that's not the case.
Shit, and he picked most of the great ones sitting in there now, but here's the thing. Yeah, one of those judges is a simp motherfucker. And one of those is a part of the GIC. Let's keep it all the way funky.
It's just Democrats saying literally anything to make Donald Trump look bad. These people have no principles. They only care about power. And once again, they've fallen for the trap, blindly following their partisan interests, being guided by their partisan rage. Once again,
hello, Big Bird.
Again, they've picked the absolute worst hill to die on, just like they did with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, defending a violent MS-13 gang member like he's some sort of poor oppressed victim. Now they're out here defending a rogue judge who tried helping a violent criminal evade capture. You can't make this stuff up. These people will do or say anything as long as it fits their orange man bad narrative. There's absolutely no way this works out for them. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this.
All right, thank you for that there, liberal high mind. You are with the soap, and we are in the bucket, and I'm about to get the hell out of here. Hey, what are you guys doing here? I'm showing you guys those things that make you go, damn! Hey, and yeah, I would like to send a shout out to, yeah, you know who. Yeah. He's not here, but he's probably catching me on the replay. But yeah, man. Yeah, don't forget. And then I'll put up the link right here. I think Frost is going live, so I'll probably be over there. And I'm gonna refresh in my drink, start up my damn console, and well, really my PC, and play a few games. But yeah, don't forget and catch. Be sure you watch the things that make you go. Damn! Psyche Soap. I'll see you next week. Same bucket time, same bucket channel. This is kind of one of those laid back shows, but put this shit on repeat. Bye, nigga.
Give me some of that old big carrot. You shut. What? Oh, you shut. Oh, I do what I want. And you know I said so. You know that I do what I want. Get you down. To beat you down. What I want. Say the big.
So,
Psyche Soap.
so, Psyche Soap. Psyche Soap. Psyche Soap.
You make my singing. Yeah. Now, what we gonna do? We're gonna mellow it out again. Do-do-do-do. Yeah. Do-do-do-do. Alright. Do-do-do-do. 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 That's how I do it. That's what I want. I said so. You know that I do what I want. Yeah. Come on now. You better like this song.